Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to the evening session of Being Heartful Every Day with Swadhyaya. As we gather this evening, we pause briefly to acknowledge the inner journey we had completed in the last week, and that has been on the theme of flow of thoughts. And we had explored that how thoughts move, how they influence our inner condition, and how they shape intention and direction. And from this week onwards, we had started exploring our new theme, which is removing impressions. From the past theme of flow of thoughts, we learned that thoughts themselves are not the root of disturbance. And when awareness rests in the hearts, they lose their heaviness and they begin to serve life rather than dominate it. And we also saw how inner order emerges when identification reduces, when rhythm is restored, and when intention becomes pure. Impressions are the subtle residues which are left behind by our experiences, emotions, and repeated reactions. They are not always visible, yet they quietly influence how we think, feel, and respond. In heartfulness, impressions are understood as the deeper cause behind the recurring flow of thoughts and tendencies. And removing impressions does not mean erasing memory or suppressing the experience. It means gently clearing the subtle weight they carry. So consciousness can return to its natural light state. And that is why the theme of removing impressions is a natural continuation of understanding the flow of thoughts. For an Abhyasi, progress is not measured by controlling the mind, but by becoming lighter within. As long as impressions remain, they color our perception and they limit inner freedom. And when impressions are removed, thoughts become simpler, emotions become more balanced, and responses become natural rather than conditioned. And this inner cleaning allows the heart to express its true nature, calm, clarity, and openness without obstruction. Heartfulness offers a practical and compassionate approach to removing impressions through the practice of our daily cleaning. Cleaning works as a subtler level than thinking or analysis. It gently removes impressions without revisiting or reliving them. And over time, this creates inner transparency. The mind feels less burdened and the heart feels unencumbered. Life is experienced more freshly moment by moment. Daji often reminds us that spiritual progress is about becoming simpler and purer. And removing impressions is not an act of effort but of allowing. As impressions dissolve, the natural state of the heart begins to shine through, guiding life effortlessly. And in this state, thoughts flow freely because nothing holds them back. Dear sisters and brothers, as we move ahead in the session, if someone you know feels weighed down by the past experiences, repetitive emotions, or inner heaviness, then this theme may offer gentle support to them. And introducing them to Heartfulness Masterclasses or the BHED sessions, it can help them experience lightness from within. Sharing these practice is also a very quiet act of quiet compassion. So let's do that. And you'll find the additional reading material and videos of River Daji, which are available on the Heartfulness app under the Sunday tab 21st December. So you are all encouraged to explore this reading material and videos which can deepen our understanding of the theme. We will now resume reading, and this is from the Heartfulness Way book 2. And we are going to resume the reading from page number 63, and the chapter is titled as Removing Impressions. Since we are not going to display the text on the screen, therefore, you are encouraged that if you have your personal copy, you can read along as well. Daji, can you speak more about impressions? I feel you have a lot more to say about them. How do they form? They form when our mind is active, when we are awake. Active thought creates whirlpools of energy in the field of consciousness known in yoga as vrittis. They are very much like waves and currents in an ocean. When the movement of these thoughts is simple and uncolored, it does not disturb us. For example, a relaxed, normal meeting with a work colleague may not create any disturbance in you. But if that person starts abusing you or taking advantage of you, what happens? You react and feel disturbed inside. That whirlpool of energy in your subtle body develops an emotional charge, leaving an impression that settles in the subconscious mind unless it is removed. Now, what happens if you are strongly attracted to a colleague during that meeting? A very different time of impression is created. Your consciousness becomes charged for a different reason. We need a practice of mental cleaning to remove the charge, the coloring, so that the ocean of consciousness once more settles down into stillness. If you go to the same meeting room the next day, will yesterday's experience reignite a reaction in you? If it has touched your consciousness, you may rekindle yesterday's emotion, reinforcing it. You begin to condition yourself. But if you had cleaned that emotional charge from your system, then there would be no reaction even though the memory remains. Consider another scenario. Imagine a young married couple, madly in love, moving into their first home together. They are so happy, they poured their hearts into the renovations and the garden, and they raise a family there. Fast forward 20 years, and the wife has just passed away from cancer. Now there is emotional pain, and there may even be financial issues. Fast forward another 10 years, and the house has other owners and a different energy. The husband returns to the neighborhood to visit old friends. What will he feel? Will he remember the beautiful days of their early family life together, or the painful days of his wife's illness and passing? Will there be strong emotions or simple memories with no heavy emotional charge? All that depends on him, not the house, but the house will evoke many things for him. The existential memories will stay, but what emotional charge will remain? Nostalgia is often a lovely feeling, but trauma is something that can cripple us. Both can keep us tied to the past and unhappy in the present. We are constantly taking in impressions through the senses, and we either like or dislike them. Desire affects us, and we try to fulfill them. One desire generally leads to another. So, we develop the habit of seeing things with the idea of having them. These desires mold our physical and mental actions and lead to the formation of samskaras, adding more and more coverings around the soul. There are fresh desires every moment, and our efforts to satisfy them leads us to accumulate more and more. Dear sisters and brothers, we'll take the pause from the reading and allow the reading to settle in your heart. Let us now turn inward for the universal prayer. All brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है. May impressions dissolve gently, and may the heart become light and clear, and may our inner state return to its natural purity. Dear sisters and brothers, as you prepare for the rest tonight, take a few moments to offer the bedtime prayer and the reflections of the day with the resolve of not to repeat the mistakes of the day again. Dear sisters and brothers, thank you for joining this evening session, and we look forward to your presence for the morning session tomorrow at 6 a.m. Until then, may the gentle cleaning, the inner clarity, and the Master's loving presence accompany you through the night. Thank you.